Welcome back to Magic Mishap. It's episode 10. Last we left off, our group of adventurers, Fracturebound, aligned themselves with the Warden for a brief while at Shardfall Ravine as they managed to destroy the first anchor and then had a small chat with Iridia, as part of her was able to break free just a bit more. And then our group decided to start making their way to Anchor 2 right away. Anyways, let's get into it. On the fourth day at dusk, the air locks, no wind, no sound. The shadows stretch too long. From the cracked horizon steps three figures, humanoid, robbed, their body parts partially phased like they didn't exist, half a second out of time. Their faces are smooth, with a pale crystal etched with perfect geometric lines. Axum's hunters. The ground beneath them does not break, it aligns. In unison. Targets confirmed. Behind them, the sky fractures briefly, revealing impossible shapes folding inward. The initiative is the hunters, Kale, Sarah, and Aaron. Two of the hunters blink forward, reality folding around them. One raises a hand, space compresses, causing Kale and Sarah to make a con save. Kale passes with a 16, Sarah fails with a 10. Doing 9 damage to Sarah, and she's pushed back, and 5 to Kale. The third one creates a null pattern near Aaron. Magic falters briefly as he does this.
Kale plants his feet. You want order? Earn it. He charges, striking the nearest hunter. Hit 1711 slashing damage. The blade bites, but the wound rearranges itself, not fully healing but aligning.
Silra wipes blood from her lip, eyes burning. She casts Chaos Bolt, targeting a hunter outside the null pattern. Wild Magic check, D6-2, no surge. Hit 18. 14 chaotic damage. The bolt rebounds, arcing to a second hunter. 7 damage.
Erin moves carefully out of the null pattern, slamming her staff down. She casts Entangle, vines ripping through glassed earth. 2 hunters are restrained briefly, reality resisting them instead of obeying. Erin's halo of spores flares. For necrotic damage.
The hunters tilt their heads simultaneously. They are adapting. The order space shifts, locking down the terrain around the party. The hunters' form sharpens, movements becoming more deliberate. One of the hunters raised both their hands. Correction required. And then takes a lunging strike at Kale and Sarah, doing 8 damage at Kale, and Sarah evades as she ducks behind a jagged ridge, causing them to miss. And then the second hunter blinks towards Sarah, attempting to isolate her.
Kale lunges, driving his blade in with practiced precision. Longsword. Hit 17. 12 slashing damage. The strike lands true.
The mask fractures completely, splintering outward in a perfect geometric bloom For the first time, the hunter screams, not in pain, but in error. Its body loses cohesion, unraveling into lines of light that snap and fold inward, and then collapse into a scattered of inert crystal shards. That's one hunter down. 2 more to go.
Silra grins, feral. You hate chaos? Good. She hurls a chromatic orb, lightning, directly at the cracked edge of the hunter's mask. Wild magic check, D6-5, no surge. Hit 18. 16 lightning damage.
Causing one of the hunter's masks to spiderweb, but it holds. Electric arcs crawl across the hunter's form, disrupting his phasing.
Erin steps forward, eyes glowing faintly green. She points her staff at the same hunter. You don't belong in living soil. She casts Blight, fungal rot racing across the hunter's crystalline body. Failed save with a 12. 15 necrotic damage. The hunter stumbles, its form destabilizing. Erin's halo of spores triggers. For necrotic damage. The mask fractures further.
The remaining hunters are no longer advancing confidently. They're recalculating. One's near collapse, the other is untouched. And then the order space pulses and then falters. The land fails, not shatters, but misaligns. A deep, resonant crack echoes beneath everyone's feet, like snow snapping from impossible pressure. The glass planes ripple outward in concentric rings as the order space, the hunters collide violently with the lingering chaos from the destroyed anchor. The result is catastrophic. Reality slips a gear. The ground fractures into floating plates, some rising, some dropping. Gravity inverts and pulses, sending debris and combatants lurching upward before slamming back down. The wild magic surge detonates at the center of the battlefield, but not from Syrah, but from the land itself. The weakened hunter is hit first. Its already fractured mass cannot compensate. The construct freezes mid-step as its body is pulled in 3 directions at once. What sounds like glass being crushed inside of a bell is the hunter imploding on himself. The second hunter is destroyed. The last hunter staggers, stabilizing as it tries to reassert order. It looks not at the party but at the sky, and for the first time its voice is not unified. Parameters invalid, retreating. And then he starts to book it out of there. A wave of inverted gravity rips from the ground underneath of him as he's running. The hunter backwards into a sprawling tear of distorted air. There's no explosion, no scream, just snaps as he is forcibly displaced. Silence crashes down harder than the collapse. Floating debris settles slowly, clinking back into place. The land itself seems to exhale. As Kale steadies himself, planting his sword in the ground, Ciro drops to one knee, laughing, half relieved, half hysteria. And Erin closes her eyes, spores drifting gently as the terrain begins to stabilize. The order space is gone, but what remains is raw, scared reality. Hostile, but free. They don't wait, not for the land to finish settling or for Axum to try again. The Fracturebound move on. Kale leads as usual, setting a relentless pace through the fractured terrain, eyes always on the horizon where the warden's projections burn the brightest in his memory. The glass plains thin out, giving way to scorched stone and half-buried ruins, remnants of a city that once fell sideways instead of down. Sura walks with magic pulled tight against her chest, like something wanting to bite, or waiting to bite. Aaron brings up the rear, whispering to the lands as they go. And above them all, clouds drift in layers. Some move east, some move west, not all move though. Some just stay still. Hours pass, then light changes, not dimmer, wrong. Shadows point towards the sun. Gravity hiccups once more, just enough for them to stumble. And then, on the horizon, half buried in vast desert, a fused crystal of ash lies the core of the fallen, floating city. It's upside down. A massive stone arch hanging in the air, anchored to nothing, while entire districts lay suspended mid-collapse, frozen by the fluctuating gravity wells. At the heart of the city is its cylindrical structure of mirrored stone and gold-veined crystal, the Skyfall Vault. Energy flows into it from every direction, upward, inward, feeding something deep inside.
Silra feels sick. That's not just an anchor.
Aaron nods slowly. That's where gods go to be processed.
Kale sets his jaw. Then we don't stop at the door.
As they draw nearer, gravity inverts unpredictably every few minutes. Patrols move along impossible paths, walking on air and ceiling and even broken walls. The vault itself emits a low harmonic tone that resonates in their bones. They're approaching something far more defended than the first anchor, and far more important. The Fracturebound halt on the edge of a shattered ridge overlooking Skyfall Vault. They don't rush. Not this time. They spent hours watching.
Kale marks movement with chalk on broken stone, arrows, angles, pauses.
Silra times the gravity shifts, counting under her breath, feeling for the rhythm beneath the chaos.
Aaron presses her palm to the glassed earth, spores drifting outward like scouts.
Slowly, a pattern emerges. The gravity inversion cycle occurs every 3 to 5 minutes, irregular but not random. Inversions last about 10 to 15 seconds. The vault's inner ring remains stable, a safe zone. Patrol routes, clockwork sentinels move in a triangular path. The hunters phase only during the stable gravity. Blind spots form briefly during the inversion resets. The harmonic tone that the vault emits is a constant resonating sound. During the inversion, the tone drops about a half a step. The moment disrupts detection for about 6 seconds.
Erin stiffens suddenly. There she closes her eyes. Erin, not speaking. Pressing.
Silra swallows. Gods?
Erin nods. Or what's left of them.
The party identifies a collapsed promenade that floats only during the inversion, a vertical breach in the outer hall that opens up briefly when gravity flips, and a service causeway that's invisible unless viewed upside down.
Kale taps the map. We get one clean entry.
Silra exhales. And if we miss it?
Erin finishes softly. We fall.
Silra notices something else. A second harmonic beneath the first. Sharper. Watching. The vault's adapting. Not to us specifically, but to interference. Time is limited.
Alrighty, that is it for episode 10. Yeah, let me know what you think of the story so far. And as always, don't let things weigh you down.